All right, guys, we are back. After a short little break, about a week or so, I just took a little time off and did some things. I got a little time to work on my car before I got to get back on the Impala. So I'm going to go ahead and get back on these doors. That's where we were when we left off. So let's go take a look at them. I finally got some patches in, and I'll show you those too. All right, guys. On the doors on these, they're getting hard to come by. Sometimes you can find them. You might find one here or there, but a lot of times they're in pretty good shape other than the bottoms here. So there's a few places left. I found these ones on eBay. They're about, I don't know, $150 a set or so. But yeah, that's about the only way to fixing these. But I'll just go ahead and take this thing and lay it on there, kind of use it as a template. I've already got everything stripped from the back side, and I pulled the door panel off, and I still have to pull the door handle and the door lock off from the other side. But that's easy. That just pull that little yellow lever there and pull these rods out, and then unscrew that there. I believe it's a, I don't know, 11 millimeter or something like that. But yeah, anyway, we will go ahead and pull those couple things off and get this cut out, and then we'll have to make a little bit of a lip here. No problem, I've got a bench top bender right there. It'll do the trick just fine. So we'll bend up a couple pieces of metal for that and repair that, and hopefully have one good door maybe by the end of the day. Let's see what we can do. We'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I got the handle and the lock out. I got the door flipped over, and I went ahead and put this panel up here just so you guys can kind of see how high it goes, all the way up to the bottom of this body line. And this is just my own personal preference from experience of doing this. If you can get away with it, do not use that whole thing. I mean, it's a lot of work to get. It's hard to tell, but right here there's kind of like a natural little body line. You know, it's just kind of a light bend, and that panel comes up to here. It's really hard to get that perfect bend down through there in an aftermarket panel. So if you can stay away from, go just below that. So as you can tell, I've already ground a ton of metal off, paint off, so you can kind of see where the rust is here, and it stops, right about in here. So I'm going to go ahead and go on up above it quite a bit, a couple inches, just to be sure that it's clear. And then I've already flipped it over and made sure on the inside that there's no rust above it or anything. So unfortunately, the other door, it's a little bit worse. So if I can find a passenger door around here somewhere locally, I might go ahead and scoop it up. But that's why we went ahead and started on this one, so I can kind of look for another passenger, because the rust on it goes actually on above this body line here just a little bit, not much, in one little spot. So it could be fixed, and if I don't find a door very quickly, I'll just go ahead and fix it, because I've already got the patch. But yeah, that's that. It's all ground. So now we'll go ahead and put this panel up there and see about how much we need, and then go ahead and just run a tape line on this, so we got a nice straight cut all the way down through there, somewhere hopefully right about in here. And that'll give us room for our flanging here all the way down through there. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but we'll be back. All right, guys, we have our panel cut down. You can see here we cut a couple inches off of it. I've got it placed up here, kind of where it goes. I got everything ground both sides. Now this next part, I'll go ahead and mark it, the panel where it goes up here, with a magic marker all the way down. And then after we get that done, we will go from that line. We will measure down about 3/8 of an inch or so, about the width of our flange tool here, and leave ourselves. We'll cut 3/8 of an inch longer on this side, so we'll have a little bit of a flange to weld this to. You do not want to try to butt this up to this piece and weld it. You'll never get it straight. It'll be wavy as can be. So if you follow these steps, your door will turn out beautiful. So we'll be back and I'll show you guys a little bit more what I'm talking about. All right, guys, I marked the panel here with the black mark. Like I said, measured down about 3/8 of an inch. It don't have to be exact, but as long as it's really close. I ran my tape line, kept that same distance the whole way down, and that'll give you a perfectly straight cut and a good spot to good clean spot to flange, you know, so we've got somewhere to weld. We'll go ahead and set this tripod up and start cutting. All right, guys, we got our cut made. You see me cut it there. I flipped it over. Now we are going to grind this. This is the easiest way that I have found, the best way. You can, you know, use an air hammer or whatever, a pick, screwdriver, whatever. Some people will peel it around this flange, but seriously, the best way is just to take a grinder and grind from wherever you cut it, which our cut is here and here. So we'll just grind this side to here and this side and grind that all off, and then this whole panel will just kind of fold off of here. This bottom's so far rotted that there's nothing really holding it. So once we grind this side off and that side off, and that keeps us from tearing up our flange or bending these flanges up. That way it goes, everything goes back exactly where we need it to. You don't want this door not fitting right once you get it back together. So I'll go ahead and grind that, and we'll be back and take a look at it. All right, I gave this one a grind here. You can see it's separated and it's folded out now. And just to show you guys, I used a 36 grit grinder, 3-inch. Just ground it just like this. Just took little, you know, swipes off of it, back and forth, and it'll just kind of peel that. You'll know when to stop, because you'll see it split here where it needs to split. And then you don't want to grind anymore. You don't want to grind away your flange. But I'll finish grinding this little spot right here and peel this off of there. Alright, guys, before I go and cut out this rusty flange and fix it, I wanted to go ahead and get this other side ready. So I went ahead and put the panel back on, made another line, nice dark line where it's going to be. On the ends here where you can't flange it, like here, you just have to cut it flush, and then you'll butt weld it there, okay? And all the rest of this will be flanged all the way down. I've already started flanging it, but I just wanted to show you guys. It's real simple. If you don't have this tool, definitely get one. It makes this job easy. slip it on the lip, press the button, and it bends a flange on it. I don't know if you guys can see that very good, but nice little clean flange. And that, you do that all the way down there, and then when you lay this panel on there, your new panel is completely flush with your old panel right here, and then you've got a nice lip there, and that keeps from distortion. It helps keep from the waviness and stuff once you get it all welded together. Now you still want to tack it out and space your tacks out, because you can still warp it, but it really helps, and you know, with the process, it's definitely the best way I have found to do it. And you know, if anybody wants to challenge me on it, leave it in the comments and let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back. Alright, we're back. The panel fits good. Now we've started on the little bit of rot here, if you guys have seen, on this flange. So we're going to, well, I already cut this one out here. You can see I still need to cut this one off and do it, but I cut this one completely straight across here, and that's all good material left over. And it measured out to be, I don't know, about 3/4 of an inch or so. So we'll go ahead and cut a new one about 1 inch wide, and I'll put it up here and weld it all into place, and you guys will see. There's not much to it really, but then we'll go ahead and do this piece here, and then those, you know, that section there, and then that section there, and then we'll be ready to put that panel on. So we'll be back. All right, guys, I got a little ahead of myself and forgot to show you the lip, the flange, before I put this panel on, before I tacked it, but that's all right. I mean, you guys got the gist of it. I'll flip it over before long and you guys can see the underside, but I'll go ahead and put a few more tacks through here. I just got a couple ugly tacks to hold it right now, but you can see it's still not attached at the bottom. There's not a lot to it. Just make sure you you know, that flange, you get that real good, and then you'll notice when you start putting these tacks in, it's going to start sinking in here, where the you know, where you're welding it from the heat, and that's okay. It's going to sink in just a little bit. You kind of want that, but just keep spacing your tacks out. You know, one here, and then go back over here, and then here, and then there. I mean, just keep doing that back and forth until you get you know, get it all completely welded. Don't build up too much heat, because it will warp bad, and you can tell right now there's no warpage right now. It's nice and straight, so we're going to keep it that way. But we'll be back after we get this welded a little bit more. Alright, guys, we are back. I got the door flipped over. I got my flanges here cut to match the factory. If you can tell how wide it was there on the factory. I wanted it to, you know, match, but they sent extra, so I just cut that extra off and then went ahead and flattened it all out with a hammer and dolly, you know, and wrapped it around my flange that I made here and here. But as far as that goes, just make sure you do the bottom first and get it pulled up real snug, and get it hammered in with your, you know, hammer and dolly. And then I usually just hammer it in a little bit and then go ahead and make my cut and then hammer it in the rest of the way. Just make sure you do all your hammering on this side and your dolly on that side. Then go, after you get the bottom done, go ahead and do your other sides. Just remember, you know, when you're done, there was seam sealer around here, so, you know, make sure you put that back. Now we'll just take a skim coat of filler over everything, just regular body filler, and then block that all out and prime it. We'll be back. Alright, guys, the back side is all I finished welding it, grinding it. It is all ready for filler. This side I just want to come back and show a little bit. You can see I've went ahead and went through and made all my tacks, just little tacks all the way down through there. And then I've already started grinding it and smoothing it out down here so you can kind of get a better idea. You know, you can see there, it still needs ground down through there. But right here, this is just perfectly smooth, baby butt smooth. It just needs a tiny little bit of filler. Not bad, it didn't turn out too bad, but I'll finish grinding this down through here to make it look like that. Hammer and dolly it a little bit here and there. Couple little spots, straighten out the lip a little bit, but for the most part it turned out great. These aren't super hard to do, but I also had to do a little patch up here underneath this lip. There was a little rotted spot right there, so I had to cut it all out and fix it. But I normally would just find another door, but I didn't really have a lot of luck finding the driver door, so I did find a new passenger door, so because it was way worse. But this thing's about ready for a skim coat of filler and primer. If you guys like what you see, if you're learning anything, hit that like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. If you guys have any questions or comments, just drop them down below, and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. All right, we're back. I got everything ground. I got a skim coat of filler on everything. Just a nice thin skim coat all over everything. It'll probably need another little light coat after this, but that's okay. I went ahead and skim coated that there too. I had to do that. That's pretty much it, guys. These, like I said, they're not really that hard if you got access to a welder. You know, practice a little bit on welding sheet metal. It's definitely a little bit harder than welding thicker stuff. You burn through really easy, but just take your time, and it can be done. You can save these doors. Other than that, this door is pretty good shape. You know, it's got a couple little bitty light dings and stuff here and there that I'll body work out, you know, or prime, but a couple little nicks. But for the most part, all that stuff will fill with the 2K primer once we're ready for that. Also, I'll block this out, hit it again, and then throw some direct to metal 2K primer on, and this door will be ready for paint. I'm going to keep this video as short as possible, so that's it. I'm not going to go on into primer and everything. If you guys are interested in that, I've got some other videos back. If you subscribe, you can learn how to prime and stuff and mix that stuff up. It's not real hard. Like I said, any questions or comments, leave them down below. And thanks for watching, guys.